So in this example, we're going to find the inverse sine of the sine of 10 pi over 7. And there's actually quite a lot happening in this example. So first of all, we would like to locate where 10 pi over 7 is. And there's a couple of different ways that you can go about that. We can think about dividing the circle. We know that if we would go all the way around a circle once, this would be 2 pi. And getting the common denominator, that would be 14 pi over 7. Or if we only went halfway around, that would be pi, which would be 7 pi over 7. So we know that this angle is going to live either in the third or the fourth quadrant. And so we just have to think, how can we divide that bottom half into 7 parts? So there's 2 quadrants. We'll take 7 and divide it by 2. We should have 3 complete ones and split the middle one. So this would be 1 pi over 7, 2 pi over 7, excuse me, 3 pi over 7, 1, 2, 3 pi over 7, 4 pi over 7, 5, 6. Let's see, did I do this properly? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Okay. So there's 7 of these little slices here. So here's 1. So this corresponds to 8 pi over 7. This one corresponds to 9 pi over 7. Then here, this would correspond to 10 pi over 7. Now, if you don't like that methodology, you can also just convert the radians into degrees. So to do that, we would have to multiply by 180 degrees over pi. The pi's would cancel. We'd get 1800 degrees divided by 7. And using our calculator, we would get approximately 257 degrees. Okay. And we also know that this lives in 3. Okay, so now we've established where this angle lives. Now let's think about what the sine of that angle could be. So I'm just going to recopy the problem. The sine of 10 pi over 7. Right? And then locating this again on the unit circle, we know it has to be here. And with that, there is some y value that is the sine, and we do not know what this is without using our calculator. So we know that if we were to try and find the sine of this, it's some y value. We would locate that. There's a possibility here and here. And then we would be asking, what's the inverse sine? Well, the inverse sine, when we're done, returns values that are positively rotated to pi over 2, or the negatively rotated ones to negative pi over 2. Okay. So the angle that the inverse sine is going to return is this angle. Now remember, this is 7 pi over 7. This one's 10 pi over 7. Then we can use the symmetry of the circle. That is, the magnitude of what the inverse sine is going to return must be the same as what we have here. So how big is this portion of it? Well, this portion of it, if we start here at 7 pi over 7 and we end at 10 pi over 7, that magnitude must be 3 pi over 7. And therefore, this portion also has to be 3 pi over 7. But remember, the inverse sine is going to return the negative rotation. So we can say then that the inverse sine of the sine of 10 pi over 7 is negative 3 pi over 7.